Alright, so here we go. I'm going to get started on the POW MIA railgun. Where I left you off in the last video, I did a little bit of wet sanding. There was a couple issues in the paint that I really didn't like, so I knocked it down real quick with some 400 grit and soapy water. I exposed a couple thin areas in the paint, so now I've got some wicked opaque white mixed up in the talon with the fan air cap on the front, and I'm going to dust over the whole thing so that the color looks good, and in the thin areas I'm going to put just a little bit more paint. Put a couple more layers of white on there, and got all the little imperfections and stuff out of there that I didn't want, and been sitting here pretty much watching paint dry. Lots of fun. Alright, so now I'm going to scuff this up just real lightly with some Scotch-Brite, and we're going to start laying out our design. So now I've taken the whole thing and I've covered it with my 6-inch transfer tape. Taken my pencil and I've drawn my design on there. Use reference art always. I've labeled where each color is going. So the next step is to take a trusty X-Acto knife and just basically trace out on these lines. You just want to press hard enough to cut the tape. You don't want to cut the paint underneath. So this is kind of a balancing act. Just like that. I got about a dozen more cuts to make. See you in a bit. Alright, so we've got our stencil all cut out. The first stage anyways. Got some wicked red mixed up, and I'm going to start adding some color. Alright, we'll let that dry for a minute and put another coat on there. See you in a bit. Alright guys, while that layer was drying, I went ahead and peeled off the mask so I was ready to get started on the other half. So, here we go. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to let this flash. Throw a couple more coats on there. And see you in a bit. In the break, I went ahead and trimmed out the stars area and put a couple more layers of red on, let that cure. Then while that was curing, I went ahead and trimmed out all the blue area with the stars and everything. So let's add some blue, see what we get. I'm going to go ahead and put this on real quick. We're going to do it in light coats and build it up evenly. So that's all you get for now. I'm going to work on getting this paint mix a little bit better suited. It's not breaking apart like I want it to, so throw a couple more layers on here and I'll be back. Alright, so I got a couple layers of blue on there. I'm done. Ready to start pulling the mask. Alright, so now we're going to start adding some shadows. We want to be right on this line. Don't want to be past it either way. You want to split the difference. And I'm going to check the other side over here. Make sure there's nothing showing that I don't want to have black paint on. And then we're going to put a nice little shadow here, which is going to bring that folded section of the ribbon up. So let me mix up some paint and I'll be back in a second. Alright, so I got the same recipe I use in pretty much all my shading, which is a very, very reduced medium gray, like a half to 1 drop of wicked black, and it's over very, very, very reduced. So I'm going to shadow this area right here and make that hard edge. Alright, that's it for now. We're going to pull the mask off and then we can continue doing some shading. I got a couple masks that I need to fix. Be right back in a second. Alright, now that the sun's gone away, I might be able to see what I'm doing. But I've replaced the masks that have fallen off, and we're going to continue to shade. When you're doing places like this is an actual recess. It does go that way, so why not take advantage of the geometry you're given and push it back even further, so that way it collects real light shadows as well as your forced shadows. Alright, on to the highlights. Just some detail white, reduced down real reduced. Remember, the sharper that you make your highlights, the smoother the object looks that you're shading. So if you're real far away and you got a real fuzzy highlight, it makes the object look fuzzy, I guess is one way to look at it. Now again, you don't want to go crazy with the highlights. The sun's going to help you. So a little bit of white here is a lot when you get out in the sun. I think that's good. We're going to call that done. So I got a little bit of white still in a cup. I'm going to go around and hit some areas that got damaged and stuff like that, just so that I can get my white base coat back. So, see ya.